The night in Ouagadougou was unusually calm. The streets were empty, bathed in silver moonlight, but inside a small, heavily guarded hospital, the air was thick with tension. Nurses hurried through dim corridors, their faces strained, their whispers filled with worry. In one of the private rooms, a woman lay on a hospital bed, gripping the sheets tightly, her breath shallow and labored. She was the wife of President Ibrahim Traoré, a woman few had ever seen. For years, Traoré had kept his family hidden from the public eye, not out of shame, but protection. He knew that power came with enemies, and in a country burdened with political storms, even the innocent could become targets. Tonight she was in labor, and it was proving to be dangerous. Her strength was fading, her heartbeat irregular. Doctors whispered nervously among themselves. "She's weakening," one said softly. "We might need to operate soon." Far away, President Traoré was in another country, attending a crucial security meeting. His phone vibrated again and again. When he finally answered, the news froze him. "Mr. President," said the doctor urgently, "your wife is in labor. We're doing everything we can, but it's difficult." For a moment, he couldn't breathe. "Will she survive?" he asked, voice trembling. "She's struggling, sir. We may have to perform an emergency surgery." That was all he needed to hear. Without a word, he stood, left the meeting, and boarded his private jet. As the plane cut through the night, he sat silently, clutching his prayer beads. "Ya Allah," he whispered, "give her strength. Protect her. Protect my child." When he finally arrived, the hospital was quiet, the corridors dimly lit. He rushed to her room. She was pale, sweating, and trembling with pain. But when she saw him, her eyes softened with relief. "Ibrahim," she whispered weakly. "I can't anymore." He took her hand tightly. "You can't," he said gently. "You are strong. Allah is with you." The doctor hesitated nearby. "Sir, we must act quickly. She won't make it otherwise." Traoré turned to him firmly. "No. She will give birth naturally. Allah will help her." The room fell silent. His faith commanded belief. She looked into his eyes and found courage again. "I will try," she whispered. Minutes stretched into eternity. Then, after one final cry, a baby's wail filled the room. The doctor froze, then smiled. "It's a boy." Tears filled the president's eyes. His wife smiled faintly through her exhaustion. "Alhamdulillah," he whispered. "Allah has done it." Morning light spilled softly through the hospital windows. The night of pain had turned into a dawn of peace. The cries of the newborn had faded, replaced by the rhythmic hum of machines. President Ibrahim Traoré sat quietly beside his wife, who now rested peacefully. In his arms lay their baby boy, small, fragile, and perfect. Wrapped in a soft white blanket, his tiny hands moved weakly as sunlight touched his face. For the first time in his life, the president, a man who had faced battles and revolutions, felt completely defenseless before the beauty of life. The door opened, and the doctor entered with a soft smile. "Mr. President," he said quietly, "mother and child are both safe now. It's a miracle." Traoré nodded, eyes filled with gratitude. "No," he replied. "It's mercy, the mercy of Allah." The doctor hesitated. "Sir, may we share the news with the public?" The president shook his head firmly. "Not yet. My family must remain protected. Let this moment stay between us." Hours passed in silence. He barely left the room. His wife watched him cradle the baby with tenderness she had never seen before. "He looks like you," she whispered weakly. Traoré chuckled. "Then he will have much work to do." By afternoon, the baby was taken home under heavy security. The convoy moved quietly through Ouagadougou's narrow streets. No cameras, no crowds, just a father bringing his child home. Inside the presidential residence, few knew what had happened. But when the sound of the baby's cries echoed through the halls, even the guards outside smiled. That night, as the president stood over his son's crib, he whispered, "If every child in this land can sleep safely like him, my work will not be in vain. Days later, life in the presidential palace resumed, but the birth had changed everything. The baby's laughter filled the halls, and for the first time in months, the president's smile returned. Yet his wife's heart was restless. One evening, as they sat together in the garden, she said softly, "There are children out there who have no parents, no comfort, no home. Perhaps Allah blessed us so we may bless others." He looked at her with quiet admiration. "You are right," he said. "Let us share this joy." The next morning, without public announcement, they visited a small orphanage outside the city. The children were playing in the yard when the convoy arrived. None expected the president himself. The First Lady stepped out, wearing her white hijab, holding their baby in her arms. The children gasped in wonder. She smiled and bent down to greet them, letting a few see the baby's tiny face. "He sleeps peacefully," she said softly. "Just as all of you deserve to." The president joined them, distributing food, toys, and books. The laughter of the children echoed like music. Then he stood before them and said gently, "My sons and daughters, you may not have parents here on earth, but Allah watches over you. You are the future of this nation." A little boy ran forward, hugging his leg. "Thank you, Papa," he said. Traore's eyes filled with tears. He lifted the boy into his arms. "No, my son," he said quietly. "Thank you. You remind me what real love is." Before leaving, the president told the orphanage director, "From today, the government will care for this home. We will build new classrooms, provide food, and scholarships." She cried with gratitude. He smiled softly. "Do not thank me. Thank the children. They have reminded me what leadership truly means." That night, peace returned to the palace. The city outside shimmered under moonlight, and from his balcony, Ibrahim Traoré looked out over the land he loved. In his hands he held a small wooden toy, a gift from the orphaned children. It was a carving of a man holding a child. Simple, but powerful. His wife entered quietly, their baby asleep in her arms. She sat beside him in silence. After a long pause, she whispered, "Do you ever feel it's too heavy, all of this responsibility?" He smiled gently. "Every night," he said. "But every morning I remember, the people did not choose me to rest. They chose me to carry this burden." She looked at him.